कुणाल लोग क्या
लेफ्ट से लो आगे जाओ सबसे आगे जाओ इधर क्या कर रहा था मैं 45 ना कुछ आ रहा है चाहिए ये आ रही है ये मारे जी क्या चीज़ है पानी
नहीं लगाया हुआ
मैं भी आगे नहीं जाऊँगा
all the questions will be remember, next tenants are named. I struggle that one.
Sir, center.
Yeah.
Leandro को ना खाली center होना चाहिए। बहुत नहीं आएगा। Sir, just casual jazz. Sir, one pick. Sir, one pick.
So on candies while talking.
Just a candid shot. Yeah, just a casual chat.
Got it, guys?
Yeah.
Start.
ठीक है सब वेट डोर कट करेगा
ए
पानी की गणित में क्या वो दिख रही है
Mr. Payas?
हेलो हेलो नो हेलो नहीं आ रही आवाज हेलो 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 Good evening, everybody. Well, I do see a few ladies too, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Anup Wadhwa. First and foremost, I need to thank you for being here and having waited patiently for what you just saw with Leander and the other girl, I mean, Dakshita Patel and Charu playing a game, and I also tried my hand at it. And well, before I go forward, मैं एक थोड़ा सा ritual करना चाहूँगा जो मैं ज़िंदगी भर करता रहा हूँ. Whenever we start something, I remember my parents were up there. And my younger sister, जो मेरे से थोड़ा छोटी भी थी, वो नहीं रहे. I'm sure they must be smiling from upstairs. Now, before we go forward, I'd like to introduce people to you who are in the dais, not that they really need an introduction. One on my extreme left is Mr. Tennis of this country. So Mike will introduce himself because he's the one who started tennis. His family started tennis in the country. Belani Trophy like his name. And unke bilkul right on the next left is Mr. Rajesh Gohil, who sort of runs CFSI currently. And he is the one who is responsible for the films happening in the first place. Not for him, the film wouldn't have happened. Next to him is Major. He is a better actor off screen than on screen. You get my point? I said he's a better actor on screen than off screen than on screen because वो screen पे तो जो भी करते हैं मगर screen पे जब नहीं होते तभी बहुत अच्छी acting करते हैं. Anyways, I don't need to say anything about Leander or Charu. I'll introduce myself and then my brother Ashok Wadhwa, the pillar behind the whole film and the one who's literally lets his batting do the talking. आज चारू का जिम्मा है उनसे कुछ बात कराने का. Let's see what he's able to do. Well, I'd like to introduce myself a bit. I am Anup Wadhwa. Well, privileged to be associated with the film in multiple capacities. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, but that's the way it turns out to be. To start with, I am the writer of the concept, story, and screenplay. And later on, as things turn out, the executive producer, and now bestowed with the responsibility of being the P&A partner, which you all know what it is, a release partner in the movie. I had a huge passion for the game of tennis, and in particular, and also the sports in general. Of course, I never picked up a tennis racket till the age of 40-something. I loved the game, and then when I started writing, it was all good and everything. Now, basically, what we're trying to do here is that we are introducing ourselves. This is basically the unveiling of the promo of Tennis Buddies, which is India's first tennis-based film. And before we do go forward, I would ask Charu to actually take over the baton from here and speak to you guys, because he's best at what he does. I did my bit, what I record. Yeah, over to Charu.
Thank you, Anup. A bit of a googly there. I thought, we've given you 5 or 7 minutes to tell us long stories. I think this is also okay. You can kind of hear me. It's working. It's all right. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know where to begin, but I'll begin first by thanking one of the biggest sporting heroes of our nation who has spared time to be with us today. So I know it's a small gathering, but let's put our hands together for Leander Pace because, his time, you think gold and diamonds and platinum are expensive? Forget about it. His time is extremely rare. And for him to spend time here today, Leander, thank you so much. It means a lot to all of us because, as you know, the movie is about tennis, and today it's all about the movie. So it's all about tennis. Our star is also going to be joining us very shortly. We'll get her a chair in a few seconds when she joins us again, because she also has an incredible journey to talk about. Now, I don't want to make a meal of this, but there are at least 6 chairs in front which are staring at all of us, empty, and I feel heartbroken because I feel there's nobody here, because some of us are short-sighted, can't see that far. So there's anybody here? Thank you so much. So you know, you're a leader, and you're a gentleman. Aage aa jao yaar, please. I beg you. Well, beg's a very strong word, but I beg you. Come on up. And the rest of you are standing. Just join us, yeah. Sit. ऐसी कौन सी बड़ी बात है? आ जाओ, बैठ जाओ. So, you know, I have lots of wonderful, long, short, medium stories to share. But I'll share the Wadhwa story with you very quickly, because many years ago, I think about 12, 13 years ago, Anup met me, and I don't know where people get numbers from. I mean, I don't know where to get your number from. Not that I'm wondering, you know what I mean. But, you know, he got my number, and he says, hello, Anup Wadhwa. I said, yeah, hello. And he says, you know, I have a concept called T10 Gully Cricket. It has nothing to do with the movie, but allow me some luxuries here of a story. And I said, okay, so what do you want me to do? He said, no, I think we've got a fantastic concept, and we'd like you to be a part of it. And can you sort of join us and be, you know, take it forward? So I, to be truthful, leg glanced him, as we say in the world of cricket, leg glanced him for about at least 2 or 3, 4 months. I said, oh, yeah, time, and he called me, yeah. Hello, Anupad. I said, yaar, phir phone aa gaya. So I said, this perseverance has to mean something. So eventually we met. And I said, okay, let's meet. I went to the next step, and I told him, you know, you've got this 10-page presentation or concept or whatever. Ye nahi chalega, wo nahi chalega, aisa nahi hoga, waisa nahi hoga, ye nahi chalega, aisa nahi hoga. So I said, chalo, job done. He's never going to call me again. 3 weeks later, ring, ring. I said, yeah, Anup, what's happened? Sorry, you can't do it, right? It's okay, don't worry about it. He said, no. Every suggestion you made, we made proper, what's it called, corrections, amendments, this, that, and the other. And we're ready to do whatever you said. I said, yeah, phir phas gaya main. Then I couldn't shake him off. Such was his, and of course, it's all about him, not about me. Such was his perseverance. And of course, his hard work and his passion to do something in the world of sport. Because essentially, whatever else the Wadhwa brothers may be, he's particularly, you know, he loves his sport. So there we began our T10 Gully Cricket, a concept that was fabulous. I'm not going to go on and on about it. We did 2 seasons. We had proof of existence. For various reasons which are not important today, we didn't quite sort of carry it on thereafter, but it was a wonderful concept, and we'll talk to you individually about it later in case you're interested. That's how my connection with the Wadhwa brothers started. One, passionate, and if I may say so, the ideas man and the spender, and the other one saying, oh, hold on here. Oh, wait. Kahan ho raha hai? Kaun ja raha hai? Kidhar ja raha hai? Ruko, wait. So Mr. Ashok Wadhwa, of course, is the older brother, very wise head on his shoulders. I suppose he's the numbers man as well, and tends to keep things under control, but very, very quiet. Today, I've also made a pledge that I'll try and get, okay, let's not be too ambitious, 6 words out of him. We'll try and get that later today. We'll see how it goes. But it began my association. Many years later, he called me, and I said, yeah, sorry about the T10 not going forward, but which, by the way, was something ahead of its time. Now, as you know, T10 is sort of very much the flavor. So many people are playing it. This section of people here, first ever T10. Okay, very important aspect. And he calls me again and says, I love tennis. I said, yeah, I know you love tennis. I love tennis. I'm going to do a film now. So I said, okay, let me try and tear this apart. No, I didn't, actually. I said, okay, you got it all organized. He had a few wonderful actors. One of them is here with us. Major, thank you so much for being part of the film. And of course, there are others. I'll let them talk about the star cast, and maybe you know about it too. Some very well-known actors, apart from, of course, the lady who plays the lead role, other tennis players as well, and regular actors. So there we go. He said, okay, we want you to be a part of the film. And I said, sure. I brushed up on my acting and everything else, and then he tells me, no, we just want you to play yourself. So there went my acting. I just played myself. I kind of commentate during the movie, and there's a big match, which is the centerpiece of it all, et cetera, et cetera. So many wonderful stories, but I'm glad that this movie, which is nothing short of a Wadhwa labor of love, nothing short of a labor of love, something that's born out of passion, finally got made. Thank you, Major. If I had my both my hands free, I'd also sort of applaud for that, but well done. And of course, it finished up, went through post-production and this, that, and the other. Now, I don't know the world of movies. Maybe some of you know the world of movies. It's not easy. I mean, to make a movie is perhaps about 400 times easier than eventually to finish it up and launch it, et cetera, which are all very difficult business practices. So, Mr. Gokul, we owe you a big one for taking us to this stage. Thank you very much. And now we're on the cusp of releasing it in whichever fashion. They'll give you more details. But it's a movie about tennis. And Leander, since you're here, you may not have seen too much of the movie, but here's finally a movie in India. I don't know if you remember any other movie on tennis in India, do you? No. First one ever. And I think, I don't know what it will do to the tennis scenario. People like Leander have been holding it on their shoulder, the tennis scenario, for years now. But movies also, as we know, are a big social motivators, movers, inspirational, aspirational aspects of our life. And just by making a movie, particularly on youngsters, I hope this movie will once again draw attention to this magnificent sport. So Leander, if you don't mind, just a few words. By the way, he has a bad throat. Not a bad game, as you saw, but a bad throat. You're very, very generous with us. And I don't expect you to speak too much more than Mr. Wadhwa here, but not 6 words, a little more. And I mean, we are very grateful that you're here today, but just a little more for tennis, as of course, Dakshata comes here as well. So can we get her a chair, please? There you are. Thank you very much. Well done. And, so let's put our hands together for Dakshata as well, who had such a fantastic journey to go through from being, if I may say so, merely a junior tennis player to whatever she's done in her life so far. And we'll let her tell her about her journey in her own words. But as we were leading to, Leander, just a couple of words about the fact that we finally have a movie on tennis. We've got some fine actors doing it as well. And of course, it's essentially about the game, apart from all sorts of other things. And just your thoughts on the fact that somebody had the gumption to make a movie on tennis, which, as we know, may not be India's most popular sport, but it's an extremely visible and important sport for our country.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to personally thank all of you for being here today. For me, when I got the call from Charu to say that India's first tennis feature film is coming out, Charu's been a very old friend of mine, someone that I go back to my childhood days in Kolkata. Apart from all of you all who know Charu as one of the best anchors of the sport of tennis, or for any sport for that matter. I think India actually, as much as we gained a television star, we have actually lost a sporting star. Apart from him not being generous today, he's a wonderful host. At 6-all in the tiebreak, he managed to hit an ace and win the match today. At the same time, it shows you his competitive instinct. For me to be here this evening is to actually honor everybody on this dais here. Kharjim is the tennis court that I actually play on. The court that you all are actually sitting on right now is a tennis court that I've been so blessed to practice on for the last 10 years. And on this court, with all the years that I've practiced, I've probably won 7 Grand Slams after practicing on this court. So I'd like to thank Bilani Sahib, who is sitting on my left there. Bilani Sahib, the Bilani Cup, and he's run tournaments in India since I was a little boy. Junior, as we fondly call him, is Secretary of Tennis for the Kharjim. So I'd like to thank Junior and Sanjay Devnani, who's walking away from us at the moment. But I'd like to thank the Kharjim for allowing us to not only be here this evening and showcase India's first tennis feature film, but also allowing me to practice and train here and hone my skills. I'd also like to congratulate everyone on this dais, because to make a feature film on sport is the call of the day. Right from Chakde, right to Bhag Milka Bhag, right to the movies that have come out subsequent on MS Dhoni, Sachin Tendulkar. There are many biopics that are on the cards at the moment. Saina Nehwal, Sania Mirza, some of the big stars of our country are coming up with their own biopics. But today, Anup and his team are announcing the first tennis feature film. And I think that's a big feather in your cap to actually announce India's first tennis feature film. So congratulations, Anup, to you, your brother, team, for putting on the first movie that we have on tennis. Also, I'd like to commend the actors here, because to act in a feature film, as I've done one myself, is not an easy task. It's a very daunting task. And as we know, Bollywood and films in our country are like religion. It's so powerful. It can move such a big community. I believe that feature films are a vehicle to make a big difference in our country and to send a message. Just as we've seen in so many feature films that I've done in the past, um, some of my favorite movies have been ones that deal with real life issues. And to have a young girl who's sitting amongst us here who is a tennis player, believe it or not, she actually took the task of doing her diction course. She spent a month learning Hindi and the articulation of it for feature films. She spent a month learning how to act. And I got to tell you that not so long ago, she was also ranked number 30 in India in our women's ranking on the tennis tour. So big congratulations to you for doing not only a great job with your tennis, but to show young girls that multi-talented young women are the call of the day today. I think that in our country, we have some of the most talented women in the world. The top 5 banks in the world are run by Indian women. We see some amazing CEOs and tops of companies. And to see a young girl here who's transcended what she grew up to be, which is an athlete, as a tennis player, and her mother and brother are amongst us today, but a family like that that encourages young girls like this to be the best that they can be in a multifaceted world that we live in, especially in our home backyard in India, is very commendable, ma'am, to your family. So well done. I'm really looking forward to seeing this feature film. I believe today we're going to see a little promo of it, but I'm looking forward to seeing this feature film. And from me, having played for the country for 30 years, I wish this movie all the best. I wish this movie a grand success. You're already in the history books of being the first feature film on tennis. So you've already made that. But I wish the movie all the best, and I hope you'll do very, very well. So congratulations.
Thanks so much, Leander. Thank you. Thank you again for being here. I don't know what you guys think about the Olympics, and I don't know how many of you realize just how massive the Olympics are, how big it is to even somehow get to participate in it. But to get a bronze medal, which was only a travesty of justice because that damn Agassi went and, disturbed him, but we'll talk about that later. That's a long story. But, in this